So hanging out and getting things going. Now, how did you guys get together? How did this musical combination get together?
Oh, wow. Well, it all started when I was 15 and I loved his metal band. He was the screamer. He was, but I was always intimidated by him because he never was really, he was just, oh, she's just a little 15, blah, 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 merch girl, blah, blah, I only care about my music and blah, blah, blah. So I was mostly friends with, the guitarist, or the bassist,
you were the
actually.
merch girl.
I was the merch girl, yes.
That's awesome.
Long time ago, and I was a little girl that always, can I please be in something? Can I please sing? I love to sing. I love to be on stage. I just want to be known. But, nobody listens to the little girl. But then, but then we grew up, and I don't know.
She dated a roommate of mine. We lived in Wichita together for a while.
That's cool.
When I first started doing the hip-hop thing on my own, Katie would sit there and I would rap a song and she would start crying. And initially I was like, is it that terrible? And,
is it that terrible?
But no, she just really felt the words, the lyrics, and fate brought me back to Dodge City, Kansas. So.
Dodge City, Kansas, of all places.
Yes, and he knew that I always loved to sing, and I was always.
They have a casino there. That's pretty much all that I know about Dodge City.
Yes, that's okay.
That and I've always heard rumors that if you want to plan entertainment events or do certain things, you have to get them approved by certain people because supposedly it's run by a musical mafia. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I've heard that also. I can't say yes or no.
I can't say yes or no. I do not want to incriminate myself. I don't know if that's a word, but
incriminate. I'm going to start using it now.
Incriminate.
Incriminate.
Certain date of the month where you incriminate.
That's right.
We'll roll with that.
Now, today you guys are in the great salt city of Hutchinson, Kansas. You're going to be performing tonight at Smedley's. Okay, because as far as I've known, this whole thing has had 3 different names. At one point, it was called Whispers, and it wasn't even in that spot. It was somewhere else, and I heard it was a swingers bar. and then it moved, and it moved uptown, and it became something called Squawkers. And I'm like, what the hell's a squawker? And then now it became Smedley's, but I lift weights with a guy who's basically half retarded, and he refers to it as Snurdley's. So I don't really know what the hell this place is called.
But it's all S's, so whatever it is, it has to start with the letter S.
It's all S's.
Yes.
That's awesome.
We'll report back if
we'll report back if they change their name.
Put our car keys in the jar when we get there, then.
Well, I've always been told that it's a really bad deal to have a bar like that on Main Street because the cops drive up and down the street all the time, and why not just write down people's license plates and go give them DUIs later?
Well, how about that?
But now, okay, you go from being a heavy metal guy with a merch girl who was she as much of a perv magnet back then as she is now?
I think like her extent of the pervs then was us, and then
okay,
that was it. But no, like Katie is a ridiculous perv magnet. Like,
yes,
I will use Katie's Facebook sometimes to promote. And dudes will just pop up.
Oh, it's I'm sure that they pop up like tribbles from the old Star Trek series. They're just all over the place.
Yeah, he gets to see what I have to deal with on an everyday basis.
And it's mostly dicks, so
it's kind of sad.
That's right. Well, and what's also good is she's a tattooed up perv magnet. Which is my good buddy Ross Long, formerly of this radio show, he coined the term perv magnet. I don't know why. And I asked him at one point, I said, what is a perv magnet? Well, it's a chick who attracts all the pervs. And one question, and I'm probably going to blow this now because I have to ask this question. I was going to ask this in the question because I'm going to interview you guys tonight for the YouTube channel and everything. But one of the questions that we used to ask musicians or people who are associated with musicians, especially females, which is, how many restraining orders on a regular basis do you have to file against some of these people out here?
Well, thankfully, they don't have to know exactly what town we're going to next.
Okay.
Where I'm going to be when I get home. Thankfully, I have 2 different addresses whenever I do go home in Dodge City, Kansas. So they can't...
Just to avoid that music mafia.
They cannot find me. And I will make sure that they cannot find me. So
you also have the luxury of a 300-pound man, like, to get through.
That's right.
Exactly.
It's like you have your own. It's like you have your own bodyguard.
Right.
I do. I do. How could I forget that? Oh no. Oh no. He is always there. If some guy is just looking at me in some way, all I have to do is just turn and look at him and be like, this one. And boom, he's just right there. Hi, I'm Grooms.
Buy a CD or get the hell away from it. That is awesome.
Yes.
You got to put that on the T-shirt. Grooms and Katie, and on the back it says, buy a CD or get the hell away from us. Now, the CD that you have out here, when did you guys put this together?
We just did this recently here in the last couple of months. We did it at Bullet Ride Studios.
That's awesome.
Middle of nowhere, like Dustin Ritter is an amazing like person to go to.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
But you got to drive to the middle of nowhere where
you got to drive to the middle of nowhere.
Like to a dirt road in the middle of a cornfield. There's Dustin Ritter's studio.
Totally worth it though. It's really beautiful out there too. Yes.
Now, tell me about some of these different songs that we have on here. We're going to play a few of them. What's the first one we should turn people on to here?
I would go with the first track, Halfway Gone.
Okay, is there a story behind this?
Basically just a story about realizing somebody's a horrible person when they're drunk. Like they, you know,
okay.
You kind of
That's
know,
awesome.
You kind of know already, you know, that the person has like horrible motives and you don't want to believe it, and then they come out when they're drunk. And that's kind of where I am on this song.
Where you are. Okay, well, let's do this. It is track number 1. It's Grooms and Katie. It's Halfway Gone, and it's here on the world famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast. Back here in a few moments.
I'm damn sick of all this fighting and stuff. I ordered you a pint glass and shut the hell up, and a couple shots of silence, but they only made you violent. Had a feeling you were halfway gone, well I was wrong again. God, I hate the way you're spitting in my face, how your every other word has to be another's name. How you got me so addicted like a chemical to vein, yet this you plus me equations always equal the pain. And now it's raining out your teardrops. Notice that I never quit rapping when the beat stops, cause you told me I could never do it. Rhyme, I had my way with music, practiced every night and found a fucking way to do it for myself. Uneducated at the college level, but saw my light, so forgive me if I revel for a second. With a matchstick I'll set you ablaze, burn these bridges to the ground and forget some people's names. Flames thrown like burn, baby burn, ring around the rosy till these people get a turn. I am the teacher, I dilate my pupils with convictions of the soul and addictions to the music. Like flames thrown like burn, baby burn, ring around the rosy till these people get a turn. I'll burn the bridges and pictures of my former women. Never ever ever will they ever be forgiven. Every day it gets worse, everything feels precursor to the first. Yo, it's never the last. Got me dwelling in the past, now I'm spitting out some drunken words, hoping they're the last. Hoping to combat all these feelings, progression in my healing. Book a session in the studio and shows no better feeling in a world with a mic check, speaking to the masses. Give a voice to these shy kids that never feel attracted. If you're ditching out of classes or growing up the fat kid, the only thing that matters is possession of your passion. And every now and then a person comes along, tells you how you should be living, acting like you do it wrong. Be aware of the ugliness, see what lines are drawn. You can write that person down and learn to shame them in a a song, go figure. My dreams were much bigger than a complex diva. Every second always mixed up in the wrong shit. Flames thrown like burn, baby burn. Ring around the rosy till these people get a turn. I am the teacher, I dilate my pupils with convictions of the soul and addictions to the music like flames thrown like burn, baby burn. Ring around the rosy till these people get a turn. I'll burn the bridges and pictures of my former women. Never ever ever will they ever be forgiven. This is life, this is living life, real life. There comes a time when you're living right despite all the obstacles and liars pathological, inspiring the words they describing as impossible.
And this is life, this is living life, real life. There comes a time when you're living right despite all the obstacles and liars pathological, inspiring the words they're describing as impossible.
And this is life, this is living life. This is how I songwrite every single night. The look inside your big doe eyes when you drunkenly drive, and every moment you possess that had me hating my life. Well, never mind that dude you with. Forget about the time he was sending out your nudie pics. How you would cry and say the rudest shit. You had me waking up from dreams asking,
am I really doing this?
Flames thrown like burn, baby burn. Ring around the rosy till these people get a turn. I am the teacher, I dilate my pupils with convictions of the soul and addictions to the music like flames thrown like burn, baby burn. Ring around the rosy till these people get a turn. I'll burn the bridges and pictures of my former women. Never ever ever will they ever be forgiven.
Welcome back to the big broadcast, coast to coast and Boda to Boda, all over the World Wide Web and on 50-plus stations throughout the U.S. and Canada. And Grooms and Katie with us today. That was Halfway Gone, and you're listening to us today here on iHeartRadio. Also tune in Radio Loyalty, and you can catch us live on the Starcom Radio Network each and every day at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. And we're also taping this broadcast for our Best of the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar Experience, which is every single Sunday from 2 Central, 3 Eastern, and 12 Pacific. And tell me about the who designed the cover and who took the picture on the back of this CD. This is well put together.
The cover design was done by our friend Adam Worf. He's also our
That's awesome.
He lives out in Hayes. He does some design work. We caught up with him at Hillside, a show they have in Garden City every year.
That's cool.
And he was just like, "Hey man, let me do the cover." And I love Adam to death, but he's like the most anal person ever. He'll work on something, and work on something, and work on something, and it'll be fantastic. And he'll be afraid to show you, and then he shows you, and you're like, "It's great. Why'd you wait 3 days?
Why did you wait 3 days to show this to me?"
There's a very good merch guy too.
Yeah, we love you, He-Man.
Yes, we do, He-Man.
So it's kind of like you developed your own developmental system here. She started out as a merch girl, now she's in the band. He's a merch guy. Eventually, he'll be in the band.
Right. I think Kevin Smith said it best. You just fail upward.
And the picture was Jacob Gill.
Yeah, Jacob Gill, my best friend. He shoots all our videos and he does all our pictures.
That's cool.
He shot the Tradition video, which is
wow.
37,000 plays, I think.
That's cool. Yeah. So you guys are playing here in Hutchinson tonight. What's been some of the reaction you guys have gotten to some of these other shows? I know we talked a little bit about you guys being in Kansas City the other night, and you were saying there was signs and all sorts of sports freaks out there and all sorts of stuff.
Yes.
The Chiefs people are the best, man. I can't ever believe how much they support and how they come out.
That's awesome. I've never experienced something like that. Being on stage and them knowing every single word. It's like unexplainable. Just watching them look at us in the same light that I would look at, my favorite artists, and watching them watch us is what was just surreal for me.
I think it's really cool. It's like I've got to do so many things because of the Chiefs, and I mean,
that's awesome.
I Skyped a 10-year-old kid on his birthday, and just
that's cool.
Yeah, just to see that kid's face, he's like, whoa, he holds you in regard. And I think the cool thing about it all is we're just working class like they are.
That's awesome.
We've got jobs and we do this all the time, and all our free time is doing this.
And
and that means something to them. So
loving every bit of it.
That's cool.
I get a lot of flack for the Chiefs stuff too. Raider fans and Bronco
Hey, I'm a big Raiders guy. But I remember when it was Bo Jackson,
Right.
Howie Long, Lyle Alzado.
And now it's just like these are long.
Now it's this random guy, this other random guy,
Fired coach.
this fired coach.
Dreams.
Well, see, I always get teased by cousin Chris from Jiggy Jag TV. He's like, name me 3 Raiders right now, and I'm like, the black guy, the white guy.
There's 3 of them.
There's 3 of them. At least
So-
3 of each.
Well, they did have the other day. The I don't know what it was. I think it was Friday, or no, it was it might have been last Sunday. They talked to one of the Raiders, and he said, "Yeah, there's no getting around it. We suck."
Oh yeah, Charles was
Yes.
I think that was my cover photo on Facebook for a couple of days. So I just wanted everybody to know. Charles Woodson thinks you suck.
That's right. Now, with you guys going on the road, who booked these shows? How did you get everything put together for this? How did this go down?
I pretty much put together all the shows.
He did.
That's cool.
I contact people, it's like cold calls most of the time. We're just hitting people up, hoping to get it out there. And this one, we didn't even expect to get together. We were trying to book in other states, like Oklahoma and Texas. And we weren't coming up with anything. I had a good friend of mine, New Culture, who just booked like a huge tour for his band out to the East Coast.
That's cool.
He was having difficulty finding shows, and so we were just going to call it. And last minute, I put a post online on our page and on my page, like, "Hey, we need shows." And we came up with 3 shows out of nowhere. So
Wow.
people were like, "Let's do it. Let's have you out." And it was just a little Kansas jump, but
Yeah. He pushes it, and they're like, yes, boom, let's do it. And then boom, right? He's on the phone telling me, we're doing it, we're going. Okay.
Eddie's like, "But I was just going to eat ice cream."
Okay, no, yep, I know. I have nothing else to do. Let's get up and go. But Vine. I love this Vine. Watch this Vine, then we can go.
So, with the music video that you guys have out there, tell me a little bit about this music video that
Tradition?
Yes.
Well, we filmed it last year. Basically, Tradition came about. X Factor Ty Routen is a huge super fan of the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's
He
cool.
heard a song we have. It's also on our CD.
Yeah.
Blacklist, Kansas. That was out just coincidentally. Didn't write it for the team. Didn't intend for it to happen. But I had a line in there about the Shockers, and it was when the Shockers were
Yeah.
kicking ass.
Yeah.
Baker's from Scott City, so he posted it on his Twitter.
Yeah.
And, it kind of got around, and X got a hold of it and said, "Write a song for the super fans." And so I spent 2 months working on a bunch of drafts and wasn't coming up with anything I liked. And the night before, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to release it tomorrow." I wrote Tradition. So it was, the last thing you come up with is, it seems to be the thing that you go with. And I put it online, and in a couple of days, we had 3,000-4,000 plays on it. And
Wow.
Jacob was like, "We should shoot a video. We're making enough money on downloads. We should use this money and shoot a video."
Yeah.
So we went to Arrowhead. We were going to go to Arrowhead and just film in the parking lot, and ended up getting the invite through Kendall Gammon, former long snapper of the Chiefs, to come in and play. We ended up playing the pep rally before, and this is
Wow.
this was before Katie was in the group. But we filmed the video. We didn't expect it to blow up the way it did, but man, I did interviews with NFL Network exclusives.
Wow.
And it was just like one of those things. And now when we play it every night, I like to tell the story. I'm like, man, all the jocks at school who play football, I've been in more sports periodicals than any of you. So we have
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I like to rub that in a little bit. It's been amazing. The Chiefs people are just amazing. They just keep supporting it. It's like a year old already, and they're still listening to that song. I'll still see people posting it.
Wow.
So we did another one this year. They said, "Hey, you want to make another song?" We did a song called Arrowhead, Nothing Better Than This, which we also played at the pep rally this year. But man, the pep rally this year was so much more insane than last year because it was Monday Night Football. See people walking. I saw Ray Lewis walking around at Arrowhead, and I was like, Ray Lewis, like a little star.
He might kill you. I mean, he wasn't there. I mean,
right?
But but
no comment.
That's right.
No, owner of the Chiefs, Clark Hunt, comes up and is like, "Oh, this is my grandson. He loves the song."
That is awesome.
You know, I'm shaking this kid,
That is fantastic.
I'm like, dude, your allowance is my yearly salary. It's so crazy, to be these people from Southwest Kansas who, we grew up playing shows in bars and going to shows in bars.
Yeah.
We're real grounded with it.
That is awesome.
To get to do these things, it's like, okay, now we're going to go home and play a local show.
Yep.
Just
That's really cool.
It is.
Now, Blacklist Kansas, is that the next track we should?
That is the next track. I suggest that.
Yeah.
We will play that. Before we go to that, how do we connect with you guys online? What's the best spot for Twitter, Facebook, all that shenanigans?
Facebook /Nicholas Grooms Hip Hop. It's only that because we couldn't change it.
We couldn't change it.
Also, we're on Bandcamp. We're on SoundCloud. Just check us out.
That's awesome.
Buy the CD. groomsandkatie.bandcamp.com. We'll give you all kinds of free stuff. You can send Katie a dirty picture. And
No,
I'll
you
buy
may
it.
not. No, you may not. That will not get you anything.
I will say.
No.
Your stalkers make me feel very well endowed. So.
That is awesome. That another T-shirt idea. We're gonna do this. It's Blacklist Kansas. It's Grooms and Katie, and they're gonna be at 9 o'clock tonight.
9 o'clock.
We'll be back after this.
Your heels together in a land full of sunflowers. I never said it, I never said it loud enough. Midwest, now put your hands up. You better show a little love to us Kansans. Click your heels together in a land full of sunflowers. I never said it, I never said it loud enough. Midwest, now put your hands up. You better show a little love to us Kansans. Wagon wheel tracks off the pioneer strategist. I'm so proud of this, I just laugh at the sight. You at a status B, hating my state. The Great Plains, see the prairie, get it stuck to your brain. Succulent names, we got the Rock, Chalk, and Iman. Wichita Shocks, all you all playing b-ball. Recall, repping it hard in the Southwest Beef Empire. Yo, Peter, get your ass checked. We got the wind blown Chanticleers, cock-a-doodle-doo. In the morning, loving, living here, sip a beer. On the porch, watch the sunset, cooking on the grill. Hear the insects, are busted with them. And in sight, to your stereotypes, you're singing home on the range during sun-drenched nights. Well, there ain't all cowboys in the Midwest, and every girl ain't Dorothy in a sundress. Click your heels together in a land full of sunflowers. I never said it, I never said it loud enough. Midwest, now put your hands up. You better show a little love to us Kansans. Click your heels together in a land full of sunflowers. I never said it, I never said it loud enough. Midwest, now put your hands up. You better show a little love to us Kansans. Wilder than Nora Ingalls, I crack a bottle with my homie Jingles. Mingle single through the party people, and some people think that gays are evil. Like a church and a steeple can turn them into straight people. Well, gay people are equal. Think any different than your mind's just feeble. Needle and thread, I stitch a verse at a quilt patches. Old-fashioned people get subject to tongue lashings. Young passion runs deep, man of action. Crashing with my friends back home takes me back, man, backhand. All you motherfuckers putting Kansas on the blacklist. I'm so proud of this, I'm not having it. Wheat fields and mechanics, grain elevators, birthplace of Barry Sanders. Handed offie, carry Kansas to Canton. Fuck both the Broncos and the Raiders, can't stand them. Put your heels together in a land full of sunflowers. I never said it, I never said it loud enough. Midwest, now put your hands up. You better show a little love to us Kansans. Click your heels together in a land full of sunflowers. I never said it, I never said it loud enough. Midwest, now put your hands up. You better show a little love to us Kansans. Southwest at the dusk and sunrise, I'm entranced by them Boot Hill gunfights, the turf I treaded as a kid. Lots of good people, not all of you are hicks. Some of you are hard-working soldiers, others working overtime to make a few dollars at the beef plant. Please stand up, Show respect for the people, putting in the work on the daily, every single. From Benny County all the way to Wichita, Ghost out in Hutchinson, hard for me to breathe at all. I've seen a lot of places, they never have the pride of the patience. Let me paint you a picture out of beautiful statements. From the prairie to the salt mines, farmers in the food drives. It's Kansas, baby, it ain't that far a drive. Thinking of home as I'm loading up the car. Those quaint little mornings full of sunflower charm. Click your heels together in a land full of sunflowers. I never said it, I never said it loud enough. Midwest, now put your hands up. You better show a little love to us Kansans. Click your heels together in a land full of sunflowers. I never said it, I never said it loud enough. Midwest, now put your hands up. You better show a little love to us Kansans.
Welcome back to the big broadcast, coast to coast and boda to boda, all over the World Wide Web and on 50-plus stations throughout the U.S. and Canada. You can join us live as live can get each and every afternoon from 2 Central, 3 Eastern, and 12 Pacific on JiggyJaguar.com. Live as live can get from the KJAG Radio Studios in Hutchinson, Kansas. Our podcast is available at iHeartRadio. We're also on the TuneIn apps, Radio Loyalty, and the old Ustream today. And Grooms and Katie in studio, and I'll have to say, fantastic, fantastic stuff from you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Sir, who walked in behind me? But that line never gets old. I don't know why I use that line all the time. But you guys are. I just find this amazing that you guys have been able to put this together and have the Chiefs involved in the whole deal. I
feel every day I'm like, that happened? Sometimes I think I just drink a lot.
Just drink a lot.
Hey. I was on the couch watching the game. That didn't happen.
Now, you mentioned something about the music video, and you did that before Katie got in the band. Who was in the band before Katie got in the band, or was it just you?
It was just me. I was solo for a while. I won the Ernie Ball Battle of the Bands last summer. And,
that's cool.
I ended up getting to play the band's Warped Tour. And
wow.
They picked just a couple of days before the event, so nobody had a chance to take off work. But Katie was like, "Fuck it, Nick's playing, I'm going." And, every picture from that show is a random smattering of people that I know or whatever, or just a few that were just walking by, and Katie's right up front just rocking it the whole time.
I tell him every single time before it was Grooms and Katie, I was Nicholas Grooms' fan before it was Grooms and Katie. I always was.
And I mean, it's true. I'll look at pictures of us on stage and I'll be like rapping and just pouring my heart into it, and Katie's just looking at me like, yeah.
Oh yeah, look at him.
But now, Katie and I kind of when I moved back, we'd always talked about, hey, it'd be cool if we lived in the same city, we'd make a band. And it was just kind of bullshitting, everybody's one of those things, hey, if your time and place were blah, and it just happened. Katie came over to do a chorus, and she knocked it out of the park on the first one, and was like, I want to do another one. So she came over, and at the time, I was kind of dealing with the whole Chiefs thing, and I mean, it was really a lot to dump in the lap of somebody who's really never done anything musically. Every band I've ever been in, I got to give some props right now to my boy Davey Schumard. Was the talent,
that's cool.
Was the talent of our band, man. There's talented guys in every band I've been in, but I was never that guy. And
I was never that guy.
I'll really admit it, man. I was, a C
that's
plus,
awesome.
I was a C+ player with a,
wow.
I'll admit it, man. I was never the best, but
you were not the CM Punk of the group.
No, I was if we were talking NWO, I was Vincent. So,
that's awesome.
If we're gonna go wrestling reference, then yes.
There you go.
But no, I started doing the hip hop thing. And Katie and I, they just can't get over the Vincent.
That's awesome.
But no, Katie.
So you're going to be signing autographs somewhere, and nobody's going to be showing up? Is that what's going on?
Have you seen the video where the guy shows up in the Ku Klux Klan getup when Vincent is signing autographs?
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to go look that up.
Horrible. I'm not racial in any form, but I laughed a lot and watched it about 12 years.
That's awesome.
But no, Katie and I got this together, and she was perfectly fine with just being a backup singer. She would be Nicholas Grooms, and she would just be there. And I was like, why don't we make it Grooms and Katie? And
What? What? Are you serious? And Katie? Like my name's gonna be in it? What?
No,
You get a cut of the merch now.
Right.
Yes.
But I will say, I book everything, I write everything, I do most everything, and I'm Grooms and Katie, except for Katie. So
Yes. Very true. Very
we
true.
like to joke about it. Katie's like, I have so much to do, and I'm all, you have so much to do.
Yeah. I've done so much this week. Really? Who booked all the shows? Who did this? Who did that?
I
I know. Thank you so much. Anyways, what's up? Where are we playing next?
Itinerary.
When do we start? I just want to bop around and sing with you.
Maybe she's Vincent.
You never know. That's awesome. I'm glad you're a wrestling fan because we will drop all sorts of wrestling references on this show.
Right. Wrestling, if I could do anything with wrestling, that'd be my next thing I'm going to try to do if I do anything.
Well, you know something. Let me I'll just put this out there right now. Adam Pena, who is involved in the show this evening, he is on the board for Concerts for a Cause, and we have talked about in the past of doing a professional wrestling event here in Hutchinson.
Yes.
At the Armory. And we have thought we are trying to find people who might want to play the intermission.
You don't have to sell me. I'm there.
So
you don't have to play. It's pro wrestling. I'm there.
it's pro wrestling. I'm there. Well, there's actually going to be a pro wrestling event. What is it? Garden City?
Yeah, it was this weekend while we were gone because I was sitting in a barbecue joint in Garden City the other day and I saw the poster in the window with like a Al Snow sort of guy on the poster.
Yep. Tommy Snow.
Right, and I was like, why am I always gone when this happens? I got a cool story for you.
Okay, go.
Originally, before we did the Chiefs video, we were going to do a video for Blacklist Kansas, and then it turned into a video we were going to do a video with Going for Clown. But Going for Clown passed away.
Yeah, it's Matt Bourne.
Matt Bourne passed away. But Matt and I had talked it all out. We figured it out. It was going to be a crazy dream sequence where I was watching wrestling and fell asleep, and then in my dream I would wrestle Thorne. I was never more amped for.
And you would have to put him over.
Oh yeah. It's a dream of mine to get my ass kicked once by a wrestler I grew up watching. But that, in the future I would love to do something with wrestling.
Well, I work with a guy out in he's going to be doing a show actually in Larned, Kansas at some point. His name's Flex Reed, and he's bringing out the Boogeyman.
Boogeyman.
I don't know if you remember the Boogeyman at all.
Katie has no clue who the Boogeyman is.
Yes.
Boogie.
Not Jimmy Boogie Woogie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is a wrestler who he would eat live worms on TV. He would eat a handful of worms in his mouth.
Yep.
Like real worms? Or like the sour worms?
No, like real worms, like grabbing them out of the ground. Early bird gets the worm shenanigans.
But handfuls of them, not one worm. He didn't mankind it, but one worm.
He didn't mankind it.
We're talking like a handful here, like.
Yum.
Yum. Let me see here when that actual show was gonna. When the hell was that? WWX. It was gonna take place. October 4th. I guess it'll be this weekend. Totally Busted is what it's called, or Totally Justified, or I don't know. They've got Rodney Mack's also going to be there. I don't know if you remember Rodney Mack at all.
Isn't he married to Jazz?
Yes. But the Boogeyman and Rodney Mack, we went and covered for Jiggy Jag TV. We went out to, oh God, what the hell is that? Out in the middle of nowhere, over by Salina. There's Hoisington. We went to Hoisington, Kansas,
wow.
And they had Rick Steiner, Al Snow, Butch Reed
Wow.
at this show. Yeah, had all the legends.
Rick Steiner.
Got the Bob Holly was there. Bob Holly was in the main event against this local guy by the name of Jammer. He was their champion, and they were supposed to do this finish where Jammer was going to, I don't know what it was. He was gonna, I guess, get disqualified. His guys were gonna run in. They're gonna do this big run-in gimmick, and Bob Holly had spent most of this match getting Jammer in the corner and just slapping him and chopping him. Yeah, just getting him. And they went to go do the finish, and Jammer was supposed to kick him between the legs, but Jammer like pretty much kicked a field goal with Bob Holly's crotch. Yes, down went Bob Holly. Jammer gets his belt, gets out of the ring. We go to the back because we're in the process of getting ready to do interviews with everybody in the back. Bob Holly comes through. They had to do this big pull apart. He's yelling and screaming about how this kid doesn't respect the business and all this crap.
Typical Bob Holly.
Yeah, typical Bob Holly. And it was so funny because Bob Holly was acting like a prick to everybody. And at the end of the night, after we packed all our camera equipment up, we were headed back. Bob Holly was stuck on the side of the road trying to change his tire, and no one would stop. So there's some justice in this whole thing.
I think he's still bitter about that Sparky Plug gimmick.
That's right, Sparky Plug gimmick.
You're the fucking wrestler who drives the stock car and loses on Superstars.
That's right.
Pissed forever.
You're going to be pissed forever. That's right. There was a wrestling group out of Wellington, Kansas, if you can believe that. They had I don't know where all these...
Where are all these wrestling words you're talking about?
They had a
Different
wrestling...
places, too.
Yes, Wellington, Hoisington,
Yes.
Larnard, Garden City. What?
Book Bob Holly to wrestle me on my trampoline.
You might be able to get him $50 on a Tuesday. You might be able to. But they did this show in Hoisington, and they had this guy, and he's got a wrestling school in Wichita, Kansas. His name's the Midwest Mangler, Lance Chafin. Lance likes to say that he was trained by Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, and he's got Hogan's number in his phone, supposedly.
Wow.
And the big joke is that on Monday nights when we see Hogan, Cousin Chris and I will often go, oh, he's getting a call from Lance. He's got to tell him he can't hold down talent right now. He's got to talk to Lance. So, but yeah, Lance walks around all over Wichita, thinks he's a big star. I have another buddy of mine in Kansas City named Zombie Jones, if you can. He does wrestling, and he's actually got some music connections, so I might see if we can put you guys together, because
Tell him I said yes.
put you together in Kansas City. Or maybe we could book you guys an international tour, and we'll test your wrestling knowledge here. We'll book an international tour, and you can go out and you can go over and hang out with the Bullet Club in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Hello.
We can.
I would love to go. That's actually my dream place to go. My girlfriend's like, why would you pick Japan out of everywhere? Shut up.
Tokyo Egg Dome.
Just because.
Wrestling, okay?
Tokyo Egg Dome, Bullet Club, Great Muta, they're all over there.
Masahiro Chono.
Masahiro, or as Eric Bischoff used to call him, Masa My Hero Chono.
Masa My Hero. At least get my name right.
That's right. Now, do you guys have merch, just CDs, or do you guys have like shirts and hats and
We've got CDs right now. We've got
Koozies.
And
koozies? Who does your koozies?
Koozies are the same people. I actually designed the ones we have right now. But,
That's cool.
Just the same place prints them. But
Buttons.
we do have instead of shirts, we decided to get grinders.
That's awesome.
And I mean, they have sold faster than any T-shirt.
Faster than any T-shirt
We've done
ever.
a couple orders of them, and we're down to 2 of them again. I mean, we've
Wow.
I think we've had 30 or 40 of them, and in 8 shows they're gone. So
That's
people
awesome.
are like, there was a kid. I won't say his name because his mom will know. But
His mom will know.
yeah, he's a 15, 16-year-old kid at one of our shows, and he's looking at it, and he's looking back. His mother was at the show, and he's like, really want to grab one of those. And I was like, but your mom's here? And he's like, yeah. Yeah, they've been a hot seller. We kind of got the idea from Mac Lethal, who's popular for the pancake wrap.
That's awesome.
Being on Ellen and all this stuff. And I just messaged him and was like, hey, where do we get these? And he was like, oh, dude, get them. They're great. They're so cheap to buy, and they sell so much better than shirts. And so we've just gone across the country selling paraphernalia, basically. Like,
People still want shirts, though.
yeah,
People still want shirts.
People still want the shirts.
it's not
Yes.
as much. So.
That's awesome. Well, we've got time for a couple more. What do you guys think we should play here for the audience that we've got
I'll let you
paying attention today?
Lady's choice.
Me? Well, you guys have been talking about wrestling this whole time, so I don't know what song would have to do with wrestling.
None of them.
None of them.
Not on this disc. Not for my wrestling disc.
Um,
Do something with you on it. Something.
How about Little Things? Do you want to explain Little Things?
Yeah, Little Things is a song I wrote over time. It's just, you know, working with people. You know, you work with different people and how they come in and out of your life, but their little tiny stories they give you have just a huge impact. on
Yep.
who you
Yep.
are. But this is a song. I mean, I met a guy who he lost his daughter and his wife in different car wrecks a couple of years apart. You know, and a guy who was saved from alcoholism by a woman he met at work, and just things that I've seen while working. That's what Little Things is about. But I think Katie really
Pretty heavy.
nailed the hook, and that makes the song. So give it
That's
up
cool.
for Katie on this song.
Well, here we go. It's Little Things. Grooms and Katie, they're going to be part of a gigantic show tonight, 9:30
9:30.
down
9:30.
at
Smedley's.
Smedley's. Sterling's.
We'll just start saying those words.
Squawkers.
Streakers.
Streakers.
Slippers.
Slippers.
Slippers. And it's a combination of their old name Whispers with...
The association is very obvious.
That's right. That's right. We've been talking about perb magnets, slippers, wrestling, it all comes together. If we could work in a Snuggie reference, we'd be perfect. So
We'll work on it.
Here it is. It's Little Things, and it's here on the big program.
That's awesome.
We used to keep our eyes on the same horizon lines, exchange stories on the saner side of life. You fell in love with a woman that we worked with, blonde, pretty, still in school for the nursing. You loved her kids, they made you a better person. Alcoholic, but they changed you and gave you purpose. Everything in your life seemed better, helping them girls spell their names in those magnet letters on the fridge. This is how it is. Rob loved Cindy and he also loved her kids. He found a little bliss kissing boo-boos and drinking up that yoo-hoo, laughing at the shows and the cartoons they were glued to. And who knew Rob would be the model father, found his heaven in the little things that Cindy had to offer. They were his wife, his kids, his life, his daughters, his love, his will, his life.
Those days when fates collide, we grieve for what's behind. Far behind us in the mirror I spy those eyes searching for mine, never finding.
I once had a friend named David, met him on the night shift. Had a woman that he thought he'd spend his life with. Her truck collided with an oncoming semi that drifted past the line, and he didn't say goodbye. Single father, raising up a daughter, sweet 16, so he went out and bought her a nice used car, a Subaru. All she ever did was cruise. A couple months later when they called him with the news, she had died. Swerved to save a dog's life and had that seatbelt off at the wrong time. She was gone, and David's here left to carry on. Has his pictures in his wallet, names are tatted on his arms. It's the little things, the brittle things, the Tom Petty songs that he listens to, the sentimental things that keep him waking up from completely breaking up. Works a lot of fucking overtime to keep from thinking of
those days when fates collide. We grieve for what's behind. Far behind us in the mirror I spy those eyes searching for mine, never finding.
I once once knew a girl named Ava, she sat next to me. Cubicle over, damn cute, always texted me. Back in the day when I first started hip-hop, she gave me encouragement and told me not to give up. And one night I straight caught her in my notebook, a little pissed at first till I saw that she was hooked. Closed the notebook, wiped away her tears, a moment that I thought of every day for years. She said I touched her very deeply with those secrets she was reading, locked inside myself forever like a secret I was keeping. And I promised her I'd always try to sing this world a lullaby, and never did she know that she would end up in a song of mine. Apologized for opening the notebook she was reading, but she told me of the passion in the words that she was feeling. She was grieving for her mother, I was grieving for some other people. Little things, they matter, so I guess we better keep them. I guess we better keep them. I guess we better keep them close. Guess we better keep them. I guess we better keep them close. Guess we better keep them. I guess we better keep them close. Guess we better keep them. I guess we better keep them close.
She was telling me, we'll just tell the story on the air. We interviewed Velvet Sky at the TNA show in Salina at the Buy Center, and we made the comment about Oreos, and then I made some comment to her on Twitter about how I'd like to get an interview with her, and I'd arranged everything through TNA, so we were going to get it anyway. But she had told me, she goes, well, you've got to bring me Oreos. So I instructed my Salina team that I had to go out and buy massive amounts of Oreos, and then me and Cousin Chris from Jiggy Jag TV took her bags of Oreos, and so we did the interview, and at the end, she's like, well, are you going to pay up? And I said, oh, yes! And so I instructed James to go out to the car, and he brings in huge plastic bags full of Oreos, and we go, here you go! and so that was quite interesting. We got into TNA down at Wichita when they were at the Cotillion last, and Mike Game from our wrestling program, That Damn Wrestling Show, yes, it's called the That Damn Wrestling Show because I got sick and tired. There towards the end, I got sick and tired of taping the show, and so I just kept calling it That Damn Wrestling Show. And so we had went to do this interview, and Mike Game had been banned by TNA from coming into the building because they had heard our show, and he kept calling TNA fake wrestling. He's a huge WWE fan, and he kept referring to it as fake wrestling. So we get to he had to go in as a he couldn't go in as Mike Game, so he went as Duke Silver. They let him in the building as Duke Silver, and we did this interview with it. We did the AJ Styles. We did a deal with James Storm, and then Mike has a huge hatred for Jeff Hardy. And so as they went out, Mike had to go out and get a battery or something out of the car. So he goes out to the car, and Jeff Hardy was coming in the door. And Mike went to go hold the door for him, and then he realized it was Jeff Hardy and let go of the door. And Jeff Hardy looked at him with this odd look on his face, and Mike looks at him and he goes, don't you look at me like you think you're some superstar? You're just a drug addict. And turned around and walked out the door. And so...
We were just talking about that, like Jeff Hardy and drugs. We were watching the video where Sting...
Oh yeah, where Sting... And at the end of it, people are like, that sucks! And he looks at the crowd and he goes, my thoughts exactly.
And Jeff Hardy he was so out of his mind, like, stumbling around, and he still couldn't believe this.
He was trying to grasp at the rope, and it wasn't there.
So we watched that, and then directly after that, we had to watch when CM Punk came out, and, like, just did the whole, like,
yes.
swan thing.
Yeah.
And, that's so good, man. Like,
but, yeah, we had, Mike always does this thing with all the wrestlers called 2 Questions with Mike Game, and he always asks them 2 questions, and that's it. And one of the questions he asked James Storm was, so you think you can beat me in a drinking contest? And he goes, are you serious? Is this a serious question? That made it into our new opening, so we use that all the time. But, yeah.
Did it go down?
No, they didn't. They didn't actually do the drinking contest. But but we did a deal with what was it? Cousin Chris had to mark out with AJ Styles and kept asking him all these questions about indie guys he'd never heard of and all sorts of crap. So, but so you guys are finishing up. Tonight's the last date on this little mini tour that you're doing. Your little Kansas jaunt.
It's hard for me to refer to it as a tour when it's in our state. But
Yeah. The last tour that we were on, we were in Missouri, Kansas, Illinois. So that was pretty much a tour in my eyes because it's a lot of driving and it's a lot of traffic, and I have merge anxiety like crazy, but I've learned to not. So I can't do
awesome.
it. I mean, I can do it now, but I used to not. I used to never think that I could do it, but now I'm
such a delicate flower at the beginning.
Yes.
Now it's just me.
I don't care.
Got road rage and hates everybody.
Yes.
And she's coming right along.
She's coming right along.
Just teaching her the dark side as we go.
Pretty much raising me again.
Yeah. Stop being so nice to people.
Stop being so damn nice to people.
I am.
Well, we're going to do this. I appreciate you guys being with us. We're going to play one more track before we let you guys go.
Yes, thank you.
What should we...
Thank you for having us, by the
oh,
way.
Yeah, this
Thank
was
you
fantastic.
so much.
I'm glad we were able to
Yes.
make this happen today.
Jot it down.
Jot it down.
Let's end it on Jot It Down.
Jot it down. Is there a story behind this? Or?
Yeah, this is just a song about people watching and, growing up in Kansas. And, we come from Kansas.
Yes.
It's not a place real synonymous with gangsters. Right? But everywhere I play, there's like young somebody, little somebody.
A name with money signs.
Thank God someone's finally said it.
Yeah.
There's young this, there's hustle that, there's short this, there's never an intermediate. It's never intermediate this or intermediate that. It's either short or big. There's nothing in the middle.
I'm completely alright with people with aliases, but I remember when I was trying to think of a good one, and my mom was like, "What's wrong with the name I gave you?" And I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna be Nicholas Grooms forever."
That's awesome.
What it is.
Yeah.
And that's what this song's about. Just playing with those, just trying to smile at these people and play shows with rappers who are just like rapping about having millions of dollars, and then I'm sitting there watching them try to bum $2 off their friend to buy a beer at the bar. It's like, come on, man. But
all the cars in the videos are rented.
right. Or they were just driving by and they filmed them real quick.
That's right. Hey, there's a group, and I don't. You're gonna probably bump into them at some stage of the game if you play Junction City. They're called Beast Mode, and there's like 50 million of these guys. They're like the Wu-Tang of the Midwest. There's 50 million of them, but only 2 of them sing on stage.
Really?
And
What?
they did a show. They did a show in Salina, Kansas, at a place called the Muse Ballroom, which is owned by, as we would like to refer to him as the secret Asian man, Johnny Kim. We went to do the show with Beast Mode one time. Beast Mode goes to get on stage, and Johnny's like, "Oh, Ziggy." He used to call me Ziggy all the time. "Oh, Ziggy. There's like 50 guys up there." And I'm like, "Yeah, but they only need 2 mics, Johnny." And he's like, "Oh, what? What are you talking about?" I said, there's only going to do 2 of them that are going to rap. The rest of them are just going to bounce around. And that's what they did. They all got up on stage and bounced around. And at the end of it, they're yelling, "Beast Mode.
Beast Mode.
Beast Mode.
Beast Mode."
Yeah, that's all they do, and that's their thing.
Thanks to that, Katie, we're now on their shit.
No. Actually, the fact that she did that makes you guys automatically cool in their book. Because
They're gonna get a clip and then put it in one of their songs now. Katie of Grooms and Katie. Beast Mode. Beast Mode.
Unless there's a young, little, or dollar sign anybody.
Yeah.
Then we're not cool.
Well, they have this one. I'm trying to remember what the hell his name is. Demo or Debo. He's like the leader of the group. But then they have this other guy who said that he's high every day, and he's as high as soon as his eyes open up for the day. So I don't know what his deal is, but Beast Mode's quite interesting.
He may be high.
He might be. He might be. But They have a video that they made of, they went and rented all these cars, and then they filmed this video, and there was a bunch of people that had driven by, and they flagged them down and have them come be in the video. So when you made the comment about
Being in the cars.
the fact of just filming the cars driving by, they actually did that.
There's a Porsche. Just
There it is. Just film it. Just get it in the shot. Well, here it is. It's Jot It Down. It's track 12 off of Grooms and Katie. I'm assuming that's just the name of the
self-titled.
Self-titled. Look at that. You're like Led Zeppelin or Kiss.
There you go.
Except for without the sales.
Well, here we go, and when we come back, we'll have a little bit more here on the world famous Jiggy Jaguar show back here in a few moments.